This is not going to be one of my very edited videos I usually make on this channel. Uncle Grandpa vs Saitama is coming out somewhere in the future, by the way, so look out for that one. But this is a video of me basically responding to this thread. You know how there's like usually some threads on Twitter about like, okay, who would win between these characters, and they put two characters against each other. Well, this thread is cartoon versus anime matchups, a thread. And I might actually make some of those videos, like some of those topics, some of those matchups, I might actually make videos on them. But for now, let's just go through this thread and see who wins between those guys in a way shorter span. Let's, you know, machine gun those bitches, you know. Number 1 is Anne from Amphibia versus Deku from My Hero. Now, from what I remember from My Hero, though I haven't kept up with the manga, so maybe there's some new stuff I don't know about, but from what I understand or I remember, Deku and that tier of characters in My Hero are anywhere from like city level to like mountain or like maybe island level at most, right? Anne has some city level stuff as well, but when it comes to her full strength, her full power, she, with help to be fair from other two equally as strong characters, were able to move and push back the moon itself. Even just in terms of how strong you have to be to push the moon, yeah, that's like stronger than anything Deku has done. Even if you want to argue that like, well, strength and lifting are not the same. Listen, when the disparagement between someone punches a city or a mountain or an island, the other person lifts or pushes the moon in space, yeah, I'm gonna assume the guy who pushes the moon has enough strength to beat the other guy. And when it comes to her full strength, when she's in the basically Ultra Instinct form, where she has all the power of the gems, she literally straight up destroys the moon, or at least almost destroys it completely. So yeah, that version of Anne specifically defeats Deku. But if you talk about Anne in like season 1 and 2, Deku would win. But at her full strength in the finale, she absolutely obliterates My Hero in general. Naruto versus MK from Monkey Kid. Well, this one is a little bit trickier because as far as like episode 1, MK has like multi-planet level feats. So like episode 1, MK has better feats than like Kurama and Hashirama and Madara and all those guys. And by the end of it, well, the show hasn't ended yet, I don't think, but by now he has like some universal level stuff. And as much as I like Naruto, I think you either have to go with Naruto that he's like planet level or he's universal level. Now, while there is an argument for him being universal, I don't think he is. I think he's basically planet level, or maybe like star level or something, but there is some evidence to say that. So if you think he's universal level, then maybe he could fight him, but MK is for sure universal level with some of the stuff we see in later seasons of the show. There is Gohan versus Invincible, specifically Teen Gohan, and this Gohan is able to fight Cell, who's like at the very least planet level easily, but he's also like stated by himself, to be fair, but he states he can destroy the solar system, and Gohan fights him. So Invincible, who in the comic they need like 3 people to do a planet level feat. In Dragon Ball, Frieza destroys planets with his pinky toe or something, so there's no comparison here. Maybe Invincible versus Steven from Steven Universe would be actually a better matchup for him. The Rise of TMNT guys versus the guys from Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer absolutely gets destroyed. There is not even a question. Rise of TMNT characters can easily destroy and slash and lift freaking like giant city blocks, and in Demon Slayer they destroy a few buildings. They don't even have city blocks in the show because they haven't gotten there yet, okay? They like destroy a few buildings and they think that's impressive, so there's no contest. They set up Demon Slayer to get their ass beat. But the animation, if this was a fight scene, would be fucking peak. Because both those shows have amazing fight scenes. We got Star Butterfly versus Sailor Moon, which is an interesting one. It kind of very much depends on how do you... Like, Sailor Moon is the... Like, Star is easy to scale here. She has blanted statements, and there's even, like, actual feats that are, like, universal. So she's definitely universal for sure, but there's also, like, multiversal plus stuff. Meaning that she can destroy... Or characters on her level can destroy infinite universes, or timelines, or etc. And if you think that time-space is 4D, quote-unquote, then that means that she would also be 4D, but I'm not gonna get into that, but... Yeah. She is pretty consistently universal or multiversal plus. Those are the tiers for her. It's easy. Sailor Moon, however, she's either universal or like 6th or 7th dimensional. I heard or I've seen something somewhere where it's like she's 5th dimensional or 4th or 6th dimensional or something. So I'm not an expert in Sailor Moon, but if she's only universal or like multi-universal or something, she probably loses because especially Star has a lot of hacks abilities, like a lot of crazy stuff like Doctor Strange weird magic abilities. But if Sailor Moon is like if Sailor Moon is like 5 dimensional or above, Star probably loses unless you want to do some, you know, crossover between Star versus and Gravity Falls and say they're in the same, you know, multiverse or something. Gojo versus Sun Wukong would be interesting if it wasn't for the fact that Sun Wukong absolutely destroys JJK completely with one flinch of his finger, okay? Like, yeah, domain expansion would be kinda crazy, and like, Infinity would mess up probably Sun Wukong's mind. But Sun Wukong is like 30 times immortal, so even if he killed him once, he wouldn't actually die, he would just basically take one of his lives. He's like a cat or something. So, he wouldn't die instantly. And then the problem is the difference in power between them is insane. Think about this. Think about this feat of strength, okay? Sun Wukong was fighting in heaven, or as he had some trouble in heaven with some dude in heaven. That guy dropped I think it was a dumpling, if I remember correctly. So someone in heaven, I think it was in heaven, dropped a dumpling on the ground, or well, not on the ground, basically dropped it on the mortal world, and it was in the mortal world. That little small dumpling was big enough. There was a meteorite the size of a city who's about to end the freaking world. That's the scale we're talking about. A little dumpling for eating is a world-destroying freaking meteorite, and Sun Wukong is one of the strongest characters in heaven and in the series. And he's probably even stronger than MK, which I already said is like planet level, and if not universal, because Mei, for example, was threatening to destroy the universe, for example, right? So like, yeah, Gojo might be like able to maybe mind control, not mind control, but mind fuck him up once, but then guess what? He wouldn't die. He would just flinch back at Gojo and destroy the whole freaking planet. And Gojo would probably just, you know, cease to exist. Next is Dabby from My Hero versus Mei from Monkey Kid. Let's put it into perspective. Mei's flames are so strong that they threaten to destroy the universe. Dabby has burn marks on his body. That's all needs to be said, okay? The difference between the two is insane. When it comes to Ben 10 versus Jaden, I barely know anything about like the original Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm not gonna pretend I know anything really about Jaden, but here's the thing. I doubt, and maybe it's the case, but I doubt there are characters in Yu-Gi-Oh who are not just universal, but like multiversal, who like casually do universal feats, and also have higher dimensional feats. Like Alien X in the finale of Omniverse has straight up a 5-dimensional feat, and there's other multi and extra dimensional stuff in Ben 10. So Maybe Yu-Gi-Oh has that type of stuff. I just don't know about it. But I think it's fair to assume Ben wins probably. Lloyd versus Aang doesn't make sense because Avatar is a cartoon. They're both cartoons. I don't know why it's in the like anime versus cartoon thread, but they're both cartoons. But also Lloyd absolutely beats his ass. Like, it's not even close. Ninjago has some like universal level scaling, and even if you want to say it's not universal, at the bare minimum continental, not continental. At the bare minimum continental, like the Great Devourer or the Land of the Great Devourer, whatever that's called, and then the Land of Ninjago, those are continents. Even if you want to lowball them, they're continents. They're continent level stuff, and that's the level we're talking about when it comes to the strongest characters in Ninjago, right? So at the bare minimum, some of the stuff that happens in Ninjago is way above, like, some of the creatures they fight, like the Great Devourer, or what was Gigora, I forgot the name of the freaking, no, that's from, sorry, that I'm stupid, that's from, I think that's Ghidorah from Godzilla, I'm thinking, but whatever, the water serpent god thing, that thing is like, has full control over the whole ocean, or the full sea of Ninjago, which is infinite, by the way. But that's another conversation. But there's no question here. Like, Aang is getting his ass whooped. Saitama versus Captain Underpants is funny, admittedly, and also again, I'm gonna make Uncle Grandpa versus Saitama. So, but Saitama's like multi-solar system level, like a lot of solar systems, like hundreds of or thousands of solar systems strong. Basically, he can destroy that many. Captain Underpants, as far as I'm aware, and I'm not an expert, so don't come at me, but I think he's like planet level maybe, so like, maybe before the Garo fight, it was a fair matchup, it was a fair fight, but these days, yeah, no, Saitama is absolutely insane. He can also like time travel and stuff, it's a whole thing with Saitama. Yeah, Saitama probably wins this one. Ichigo versus Samurai Jack is funny, because Ichigo absolutely destroyed. Now, here's the thing, if it was, I wouldn't say Aizen, because Aizen has Kosuka Suigetsu, or whatever the fuck it's called. So Aizen would probably beat him. Now, if you put Jack against, what's his name, Yuhaba, he might actually beat him. Like, because I mean, if you argue that Yuha is evil, and his sword destroys evil, yeah, there might be an argument to be had that like his sword probably could kill him, maybe, or something. But Ichigo, no, Ichigo's not an evil guy. His sword probably couldn't even pierce Ichigo. Like, you are already setting. Jack can't fight good people. Jack versus Aang, for example. He would have to fight him hand-to-hand combat, or Finn the Human, or whatever, because he can only fight evil stuff. He's like, remember that one episode where what's his name? Evil, I think humans or whatever, not evil like robots could be whatever. I think robots are not qualified for that. But remember that one episode where Jack was about to get stabbed by Aku, but Aku couldn't stab him because, you know, the what was it? Something like the sword can pierce the innocent or something like that. Like, no, I don't think he could defeat Ichigo in the first place, even if they were equal in stats, which they aren't. Ichigo is way stronger than him. He can destroy easily destroy mountains in swings with no problem, and like some of the characters in Bleach can destroy like freaking the planets, or they're a threat to the planets, and then Ichigo is stronger than them, and then Jack is struggling with like building level robots a lot of the time. So yeah, no. Goku versus Sonic. I don't know which version of Sonic this is. It says X Sonic, so if it's from Sonic X, like the cartoon, I think it's a cartoon, right? Then Goku absolutely destroys him. If it's like, let's take the strongest version of Sonic there is, the strongest version I know of is like 5-dimensional or something, maybe 6. And if you take Dragon Ball Super Goku, I don't think he's 5 or 6-dimensional. Some people do, I don't think so. So in that case, you know, Sonic would beat his ass, like Super Sonic, 5-dimensional, whatever, 5D, 6D, would beat Goku, but just normally, the most versions of Sonic would lose to Goku, probably. Zamasu versus... There's a lot of Monkey Kid in this, by the way. Zamasu from Dragon Ball Super versus Lady Bone Demon from Monkey Kid. This one is interesting because she is at her full power. You could argue she can destroy like her plan was basically to destroy the universe, destroy the world. So if you give her like the benefit of the doubt in the sense that you give her full power, full potential, full everything, she could destroy the universe and timeline and whatever, you know, which is what Zeno did to destroy Zamasu. So technically, I guess you could argue it's possible for her to beat him, to defeat him, or at least a version of her to do so. But the problem with Zamasu is that it's kind of hard. He's in a weird spot in Dragon Ball where like the universal scaling is kicking in. Like, is he universe level? Is he not? We don't really know. Like, we know that full-fledged, like, fused Zamasu is. But is this version we see on screen here the timeline Zamasu, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. When he merges with the timeline, that is, you know, universal or whatever, you know, but is this version that we see here universal? Like, I don't know. I would go towards yes. And then if she's also universal, here's the problem. If he is a timeline, if he merges with the timeline, merges with the universe, he is the universe, and she can destroy the universe, well, at that point, he loses. But I would have to say that I'm leaning towards him. But this one is actually up to debate. Because this Lego Monkey Kid characters are actually freaking OP, if you think about it. Because they're based on, like, they're based on the same mythology Dragon Ball is based on, so, you know. Next is Finn versus Denji. Finn destroys Denji. It's not even close. There's nothing in season 1 or 2. Finn, he is like 12 years old and he's fighting. He's already fighting the Lich, who's strong enough to fight Billy. Now, Billy is strong enough to fight a whole ocean. Nobody brings that up for whatever reason, but Billy cannot destroy, but can defeat an ocean. There was an evil ocean, and Billy fought and defeated him, right? And then I think, and it's implied he did it in one punch, right? And then you have the Lich, who's basically the rival of Billy, and eventually becomes the rival of Finn. Well, holy hell, bro! And then you have a lot of other characters throughout the series. There's like cosmic prisoners which can destroy planets, and Finn is arguably stronger than them. You have Orgalorg, who can arguably destroy planets, and Finn beats his ass, no problem. You have in the finale of Distant Lands, you have him and Jake beat the dog shit out of New Death, who can destroy the dead worlds, each dead world being itself the size of a universe. It's like, I'm sorry, but this is like ridiculous. Like, Denji does not have anything on Finn, and has not been through as much shit as Finn in season 2 has already been through like 40 different separate monster situations. Like in the world of Chainsaw Man, most of the things Finn does in one episode would be like high ranking type stuff. Like, he would be right there, like above probably Makima and everything. Like, Finn would be a top tier guy at like 12 years old. And then you have him developing throughout the series and getting stronger and stronger. I'm gonna make a whole video probably about it, breaking it down even more. But yeah, Finn absolutely destroys Shinji. Denji, sorry, not Shinji. He destroys Shinji as well. Chichi from Dragon Ball versus Nicole from Gumball. They both have ball in it. That's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chichi wins, probably, if I remember correctly. I mean, if she has any feats, even if she touches and kinda hurts Goku in Dragon Ball Super, anything, if she has any feats, hurts any important character to the plot in any single way in Dragon Ball Super, then she already has like bigger feats than Nicole has in Gumball. But if she doesn't, because I don't remember her having, then Nicole probably beats her, because Nicole has like a lot of abilities, weird abilities, like she can look into your soul and make you I don't know, fear her and stuff. It's like insane. So this one is like it's up to debate. It depends on if Chichi has any actual feats in Dragon Ball Super. Like even the slightest feat, like she slapped Goku and he felt it. He's already stronger than Gumball. Okay. Starlight from My Little Pony vs. Amon. Again, I don't know why this is here. MLP is a cartoon and Kora is also a cartoon. This guy has a weird definition of anime, but I feel like Amon could technically, like, I don't know how ponies work, maybe they're not filled with blood, but I feel like we could technically just blood bend her brain to turn into mush, or snap her neck or something like that. However, the problem I have is that those motherfucking MLP characters, bro, they're like planet level, okay? They're like planet level or multiversal or some like Discord is like multiversal in the comics or something. Like, I don't know if Amon could control this bitch. Like, maybe in her sleep or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm saying, like, it's a 50-50 chance if he could do it, if he can, like, mush her brain automatically with ball blending, then she's over. But if strength can overpower it, then he gets destroyed. She like impels him. Like it's not even funny. Like she absolutely disintegrates his ass easily. Oh my god, I'm seeing here Spanel versus Kid Buu. Oh my, Spanel gets her ass beat. Why you said her? At least put her against Luffy or something. You know, someone more that makes much of a sense. Why Kid Buu? Kid Buu fucking absolutely destroys Steven Universe, and I like Steven Universe, so. I'm not saying because I hate it, but like, yeah, no, Kid Buu absolutely solos the verse. Ed from My Hero Academia, from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood versus Luz from the Owl House. It's actually pretty funny, especially Titan Luz absolutely disintegrates this motherfucker. In Full Metal, they're all bullet speed in terms of speed, right? And in the Owl House, they have lightning and light magic, and they're like, I'm pretty sure there's like even scenes of it bouncing off of mirrors or something. I forgot what it was, but basically, yeah, the characters in Owl House, you could argue they're like light speed or lightning speed, or at least faster than freaking bullet ass speeds in freaking FMA. And in terms of strength, actually, just casual Luz feats are probably better than anything Ed has done. I don't remember any feats of him doing that are even mountain level. The Collector, for example, is like freaking island level at the very beginning. The Collector is like moon level, right? And then the Titans are stronger than the Collectors, or at least sometimes, or they're fighting each other. And then Luz has the Titan form, right, where she's empowered by a Titan, right, and then she fights the Bellows, taking over the Titan's body, which defeated the Collector, I think, if I remember correctly. So yeah, now Luz, especially in her strong form, she fucking destroys. The Collector coming up also, by the way. Collector versus Good Buu. The Collector gets his ass beat, unfortunately, because the Collector, again, the Collector is like moon level, maybe like star level or something. Kid Buu, or Good Buu, sorry, not Kid Buu. Good Buu is like solar system level to like even galaxy level in the anime. So like, no, absolutely not. He beats the fuck out of the Collector. Ruby versus Randy Cunningham doesn't. Again, Ruby is not an anime; it's a fucking cartoon, and they're both like similarly, kind of like weak. They're not like strong. Like this could go either way, to be honest. But I'm gonna put my money on Randy because he has a lot of abilities and hacks and whatever the fuck. Okay, hold on. Marcy versus Mako from Kill la Kill, I think. Marcy has a form that, like Anne, is like moon level or close to moon level, so like she wins. And then Goten got him, you know. Goten versus KO. They're also I'm losing my mind. They're actually both about solar system level. like star level to solar system level, so this is actually pretty close, except KO has a power, has an ability to negate, deactivate, to stop people's abilities. So TKO, for example, which is one version of KO, has the ability to stop, not everyone just paralyze people, but stop them from using their abilities. He can just make you be unable to use your abilities. And then by the end of the series, KO is like in full control of TKO and of himself, and then there's a whole thing about it. But basically, he has all the abilities of his different versions of himself. So yeah, by the end of it, KO is like not only basically close in strength, but he's also, you know, has better abilities, arguably. So yeah, and also just not objectively, but canonically, he has like powers that are like Toon Force powers. Like the President of the Universe puts stretchy, weird cartoon physics and logic into people canonically, so they can be more cartoony. So all the powers we see from KO are not just like a fluke, are not just like for show, it's not just like for the audience, it's like canonically they're canon, that he can do all the goofy stuff he does in the show. So meaning that he has like all those like gag abilities basically, on top of being about as strong and having better abilities than Goten. But it could go either way, actually, in my opinion. So between them two, yeah, it can go either way. But it's deserving of a video into itself, I would say. So yeah, this is the thread. This is the Twitter thread. Those things go. This one didn't really go viral, but still, people still engage with it. And I saw it on my timeline. I was like, okay, let's make. It's a cartoon versus anime, and I'm a cartoon power scaler guy, and I know some anime as well. So I'm like, okay, why not? Let's see how accurate can I do this, you know? So yeah, that's about it. This was the whole thing. Bye.